Hi, I'm Alan Wen, founder and president of Peace of Mind Wealth Management, and welcome to this special technical training series, Gold Trends and Insurance Applications in the New Era. In this training, I'm going to show you how gold, the most ancient store of value, is rising again, and how insurance, specifically indexed universal life, is becoming one of the smartest tools to build real wealth in a volatile world. We'll connect the dots between global shifts, economic uncertainty, and how we, as advisors and wealth builders, can not only survive, but grow stronger, more secure, and more impactful than ever before. So let's begin, because what we're about to unpack isn't just theory, it's a blueprint for the future. Right now, we are living through a time the ancients called the ninth luck cycle. In Chinese metaphysics, it's known as 九子离火运, the age of fire. From 2024 to 2043, the energy that dominates this world is fire, bright, fierce, fast-moving, creative, but also chaotic. And when fire rises, two things always happen. There is brilliance and there is battle. That's why we're seeing conflict and clarity at the same time. Governments are setting tariffs, supply chains are breaking down, wars are losing trust, and everywhere, people are searching for something stable, something real. That is what this era demands: speed, insight, and a grounded financial strategy. And in this fire-driven age, the smartest minds, from central banks to global investors, are turning back to something ancient: gold. And that's exactly where we're heading next. Let's talk about the facts. Over the past 2 years, gold has done something remarkable. It didn't just climb, it exploded. From just under $1,900 an ounce to over $3,300. That's nearly doubling in value, not over a decade, not since the last recession, just in the past 24 months. Now ask yourself, why? Why is gold surging while other assets are stuck or falling? Simple, because gold rises when trust falls. And right now, trust in global systems is breaking. War in Europe, conflict in the Middle East, tariffs at home, tension abroad, debt ceilings, rate hikes, currency devaluation. Uncertainty is everywhere. But gold? Gold doesn't flinch. Gold doesn't lie. Gold doesn't default. When the world turns chaotic, gold becomes clarity. And that's not theory, that's history. In 2008, when banks collapsed, gold soared. In 2020, when the world shut down, gold soared. In 2023 and 2024, as inflation shook the markets and governments scrambled, gold soared. And here's the thing, the smart money knows it. That's why central banks are buying gold faster than at any time in history. That's why companies like Palantir, companies that build predictive intelligence, are holding actual gold bars in their treasury. That's why families, people just like you, are asking, how do I make sure my savings are protected, no matter what happens next? And that's exactly what we're going to dive into. Because gold isn't just a metal anymore. It's a signal. A signal that it's time to move, time to prepare, time to shift your strategy into something safer, smarter, and stronger. Let's talk about why. Now that we've seen how dramatically gold has risen, let's talk about why. Why is gold rising now, in this exact moment in history? What's fueling this surge? It's not one thing. It's a combination of powerful forces, all happening at once, all aligning in what I call the perfect storm. First, conflict. We are living in a world of tension, East versus West, escalation in the Middle East, rising nationalism, political instability. And when the world burns, gold shines. Second, trade protectionism. Countries are turning inward. Tariffs are back. Global supply chains are breaking down. And when nations stop trusting each other, they start looking for assets that don't depend on anyone's promises. Gold needs no signature, no contract, no government to back it. That's why it rises. Third, inflation. Every time central banks print more money, your dollar loses value. You feel it at the grocery store. You feel it at the gas pump. And the wealthy, they feel it too, which is why they run to gold. Because gold doesn't inflate, it doesn't vanish. And finally, the fourth force, central bank demand. This one is huge. For the first time in history, central banks themselves, the institutions that issue money, are buying gold in record amounts. Why? Because even they don't trust the future of fiat currency. When the bankers buy gold, you better believe something big is coming. So, whether you're a seasoned investor or you're just beginning to protect what you've built, this is the time to ask, what are you doing right now to prepare? In the next slide, I'll show you why the answer for many of us isn't just gold. It's gold plus the right insurance. Let's go. Let's look forward now, because if the past 2 years were remarkable, the next two could be transformational. Across every major financial institution, one message is becoming clear. Gold is not done rising, not even close. Some are forecasting gold to reach $3,800 by 2026. Others say $4,000. Some say even higher. But let's be honest, no one can predict the exact number. What we do know is this: the same forces that pushed gold up are not going away. Geopolitical tension isn't cooling. Government debt isn't shrinking. Currency risk isn't disappearing. And the world is still looking for something real, something resilient, something rooted. That's why gold is no longer a nice to have. It's becoming a must have. Look at the trend. When smart investors see a clear pattern, they act. They don't ask for perfection. They move on conviction. Ray Dalio moved billions into gold-linked assets. Warren Buffett, the man who once criticized gold, bought a massive stake in Barrick Gold. Even countries like China, like Russia, like Turkey are moving from dollars into gold. Why? Because when the system shakes, gold stands firm. And if the trend continues, which many believe it will, then this moment right here might be your lowest cost entry point before the next big climb. So the question isn't, will gold go up? The real question is, will you be positioned when it does? And that's exactly what we'll explore next. How you can ride this wave, not just by buying gold directly, but through smart. Now that we understand why gold is rising and where it's headed next, the big question becomes, how do we respond? How do we as professionals, as providers, as protectors of wealth, invest wisely in times like these? Do we rush into risky markets? Do we hold cash and hope for the best? Or do we choose strategies that are built for uncertainty? Because here's the truth. Smart investing is not about prediction, it's about preparation. And in this moment, right now, the smartest move you can make is to find a strategy that gives you both protection and potential. That's why we believe in insurance, but not just any insurance. We believe in indexed universal life, because IUL is built for volatility. It gives you downside protection. When markets fall, your account doesn't. It gives you upside potential. When markets rise, you participate in the growth. And most of all, it's backed by insurance, not speculation. You're not gambling, you're growing with guarantees, guardrails, and guidance. Think about how businesses operate. They don't run without insurance. Hospitals don't. Airlines don't. Even Amazon has massive insurance lines to protect their cash flows because they understand something most individuals miss. Risk is real, and risk needs a response. An indexed universal life is the most strategic response we've found. It's not just life insurance, it's life strategy. It's a place to grow, protect, and compound your wealth, even in a world that feels unpredictable. So, how do you invest strategically? You invest in tools that give you a foundation. You invest in systems that protect the downside and invite the upside. And you invest in your future with clarity, with confidence, and with conviction. Let's take a closer look at the actual IUL options that allow you to do this, starting with the carriers who understand gold, protection, and long-term positioning. Now let's take a closer look at the IUL index options and how they align with today's gold trend. Here's what you need to know. Among all the top-tier insurance companies we represent at Peace of Mind Wealth Management, John Hancock currently offers an index directly linked to gold futures through their Barclays Multi-Asset Index. This index gives policyholders the ability to participate in gold's upside, all within the safe, tax-advantaged wrapper of a life insurance policy. That's powerful. But here's the key, and I want to be absolutely clear. Just because a carrier doesn't offer a gold-linked index doesn't mean it's not great. In fact, every carrier we represent, Nationwide, Symetra, Allianz, Corebridge, and many more, all offer something equally valuable. No downside risk, upside market potential, long-term tax-deferred growth, and peace of mind built into every contract. Because in the end, IUL isn't about predicting the market. It's about protecting the future. And whether your index is linked to gold, stocks, bonds, or volatility-controlled blends, what matters most is the strategy behind it and the support you get along the way. That's where we come in. Peace of Mind Wealth Management isn't tied to one product or one company. We're a full-spectrum IMO, giving you and your clients access to every major IUL option in the industry. Why? Because one size never fits all. Some clients want gold exposure, some want growth, some just want peace of mind. We help you deliver all three by giving you the tools, the training, and the total platform to serve anyone, anywhere. So let's take a deeper look into how each carrier is positioning their IUL products and what you can do, starting today, to match each strategy to the right client. Let's zoom in now on one of the most forward-thinking IUL platforms in today's market, John Hancock. John Hancock is a name trusted for generations. They've protected families, businesses, and legacies for over 160 years. But what truly makes them stand out in this season is how they've adapted their IUL products to meet the demands of this moment. One of their most innovative features? The Barclays Multi-Asset Index, a modern dynamic index that includes up to 20% allocation in gold futures. Yes, that's right. Not just stocks, not just bonds. Gold built into the strategy. This means clients can now participate in gold's long-term upside inside an insurance chassis with zero downside risk. It's a brilliant fusion of ancient value and modern protection. But that's not all. John Hancock also includes other powerful index options, like the MARC 5%, which blends global stocks and bonds with volatility control, and the S&P Sector Rotator, which shifts between top-performing industries like tech, healthcare, energy, and more. Now, does this make other carriers less valuable? Absolutely not. Every company we represent, Allianz, Nationwide, Symetra, Corebridge, offers strength, security, and smart growth potential. But what makes John Hancock unique is their ability to tie in gold directly in a way that fits our theme today, long-term protection with upside positioning. So whether your client is seeking stability, commodity exposure, or simply a solid foundation, John Hancock brings a legacy of trust with the tools of the future. That's the power of smart IUL design. And that's the power of choice when you work with Peace of Mind Wealth Management. Let's now talk about Nationwide, another trusted partner we proudly represent at Peace of Mind Wealth Management. Nationwide's IUL platform is known for one thing above all: stability with strategy. Their core index lineup includes the classic S&P 500, the innovative JP Morgan Mercury series, and the globally balanced BNP Paribas H-Factor. What do these indexes have in common? They're built for volatility control, which means when the market shakes, These strategies help your clients stay steady. They're designed not just to chase growth, but to smooth the ride. Now, do these indexes include gold? No, and that's perfectly okay, because here's the truth. IUL is not about betting on one asset class. It's about protecting against loss while still allowing you to grow. And in that regard, Nationwide delivers. In fact, it's that no downside foundation that allows so many clients, from professionals to families to retirees, to sleep better at night. Let's not forget, the goal isn't to guess what happens next. The goal is to be prepared, no matter what happens next. And that's where Nationwide shines. It gives you solid tools, proven strategies, and the peace of mind that comes from working with a company that's been standing tall for generations. So whether you're looking for traditional index strength or next-gen volatility control, Nationwide is absolutely worth considering. And best of all, you've got access to it right here through us. Peace of Mind Wealth Management. Now let's explore one of the most elegant and efficient IUL platforms in the market, Symmetra. At Peace of Mind Wealth Management, we proudly partner with Symmetra because of their clarity, simplicity, and smart structure. Symmetra focuses on core, time-tested indexes that are easy to understand and powerful in practice. They offer the S&P 500, a benchmark we all know and trust. The NASDAQ 100, capturing the top innovators in tech, from Apple to Amazon, from Nvidia to Tesla. And the JP Morgan Efficient 5 Index, a dynamic model that blends global stocks and bonds using a rules-based system with built-in volatility control. Together, these indexes form a strong foundation. They're not speculative, they're strategic. They give clients the chance to grow without exposing them to the roller coaster of direct market investment. And let's be clear, does Symmetra offer a gold index? No. But that doesn't make it any less valuable. Because Symmetra, like every carrier we represent, offers the most important thing of all: no downside risk, upside potential, and true financial peace of mind. This is what makes IUL so unique and so powerful. You're not relying on one asset class or one prediction. You're building wealth inside a structure designed to last. Through cycles, through storms, through the fire. That's what Symmetra gives your clients: confidence, consistency, and long-term growth, the smart way. Let's keep going. Next, let's highlight a name known around the world, Allianz. As one of the largest and most respected insurers globally, Allianz brings both scale and substance to the IUL space. Their index lineup is built on modern, balanced strategies. The Bloomberg US Dynamic Balance Index, which blends equities and fixed income exposure for long-term stability. The PIMCO Tactical Balanced Index, offering active allocation shifts based on market trends. The Blended Futures Index, a smart, rules-based system that incorporates equity futures with risk control. Now, does Allianz include a gold or commodity index? No, but here's what they do include, and it's just as powerful: protection, growth, and peace of mind. Because at the heart of every Allianz IUL is the same promise that powers every IUL we offer at Peace of Mind Wealth Management. No market downside risk, potential for strong index-linked growth, and tax-advantaged income you can count on for life. Remember, not every client needs gold. Some need diversification. Some need structure. Some simply need to know they'll be okay when the market isn't. And Allianz delivers that beautifully, with strong carrier ratings, smart index choices, and a legacy of dependability that spans over a century. So whether your client is focused on growth, safety, or income, Allianz remains one of the strongest IUL platforms in the market, and one we're proud to offer through our independent network. Next up, let's talk about a carrier that's been making bold, innovative moves in the IUL space, Corebridge Financial. At Peace of Mind Wealth Management, we're proud to offer Corebridge as one of our key partners because they bring both performance and protection to the table. Now, Corebridge doesn't chase trends. They build stability. Their index lineup includes the Franklin Quality Dividend Index, focused on companies with strong dividend histories and financial strength, the ML Strategic Balanced Index, combining equity and fixed income with tactical adjustments, the PIMCO Global Optima Index, a strategy backed by one of the most respected asset managers in the world, and of course, the classic S&P 500. Do any of these include gold? No, they don't. But here's the truth we keep saying, and it's worth repeating. You don't need gold in an index to win with IUL, because IUL already gives you the best advantage most investors never have: zero downside market risk, upside potential, and a long-term strategy backed by institutions that don't gamble. A protect. That's what CoreBridge offers: strong indexes, conservative allocations, solid long-term value. In fact, it's this kind of structure, not speculation, that helped many of our clients protect and grow their wealth through volatile years like 2020 and 2022. So whether your client is focused on income, protection, or efficient growth, CoreBridge is a rock-solid option. And with our guidance, you can position it powerfully inside your overall strategy. Let's keep moving forward. Now let's take a look at another powerful IUL platform, Emeritus. Emeritus may not make flashy headlines every day, but behind the scenes, they've built one of the most quietly powerful lineups in the entire industry. And at Peace of Mind Wealth Management, we're proud to bring Emeritus to the table for our clients and our agents. Their IUL strategy focuses on performance through structure, not speculation. Their index options include the S&P 500, the S&P Sector Rotator, which shifts allocation into top-performing industries, the Mark 5%, a risk-adjusted blend of global stocks and bonds, and the BNP Paribas Momentum Index, built to capture upward trends while managing downside risk. Now, does Emeritus include commodities or gold? No, and that's okay. Because here's what we keep repeating in every slide, and it matters more than ever. Not having a gold index doesn't make a policy weaker. What makes a great IUL is this: no downside risk, real opportunity for tax-free growth, and the flexibility to adjust your strategy with confidence over time. That's what Emeritus delivers. In fact, many of our agents have used Emeritus IUL to help young families, business owners, and retirees lock in consistent growth, with none of the fear that comes from market volatility. It's not just about what index you pick. It's about what that index does for your long-term strategy. And when you pair Emeritus with our training, our software, and our multi-carrier platform, you have a complete solution for almost any client. Let's move to the next carrier. Let's close out this section by taking a look at North American, another powerful partner we represent here at Peace of Mind Wealth Management. North American brings a straightforward, smart, and well-respected approach to indexed universal life. Their core IUL lineup includes the Fidelity Multi-Factor Yield Index, designed to capture dividend-paying stocks with consistent return factors, the S&P Midcap 400, offering exposure to glowing mid-sized American companies, and the Russell 2000, tracking small-cap innovators that represent the entrepreneurial spirit of the U.S. economy. Now, does this platform include gold or commodity exposure? No, it doesn't. But once again, and I'll say this loud and clear, that does not make it any less powerful. Because at the end of the day, what are we really solving for? We're solving for market protection, long-term growth, tax-deferred compounding, and a structure that works in good times and bad. And North American delivers on all four. Think about it. Their indexes give your clients access to all corners of the US economy, large, mid, and small cap, without the risk of direct market losses. That's the magic of IUL. You get the flavor of the market without the fear of the market. And when you partner with us, you get access to North American and every other top-tier carrier, all under one roof. You get more tools, more choices, more power to do what's right for your client every single time. Let's keep going. Let's talk about Pacific Life, a name that carries over 150 years of strength, trust, and innovation in the financial world. Here at Peace of Mind Wealth Management, we proudly represent Pacific Life's IUL platform because of its balance between performance and protection. Now, what does Pacific Life offer? The S&P 500 index for broad US market exposure. The QQQ index tracking Nasdaq's tech giants like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. And the BlackRock Endura Index, a volatility-controlled strategy designed to protect against extreme swings. Now you may notice, there's no gold index here. But let me say again, and I hope you've heard me by now, you don't need gold exposure to create a winning IUL strategy, because what we're really offering here isn't a metal, it's a method. Market protection, upside potential, and tax-advantaged compounding growth inside a structure built for life. That's what Pacific Life delivers. In fact, for clients who want high caps, tech exposure, or smooth returns during uncertain markets, Pacific Life is often the top choice. And the best part? When you work with us at Peace of Mind Wealth Management, you don't have to choose just one. You get them all. Pacific Life is just one of many, and each has a role to play in building the future our clients deserve. Let's keep going. Let's bring it all together. Gold is rising. The timing couldn't be better. But information without action changes nothing. And that's why we're here. Throughout this presentation, we've walked through every major IUL platform we proudly represent at Peace of Mind Wealth Management. Some offer indexes tied to gold. Some focus on stocks, sectors, or volatility control. But every single one, every carrier we showed you shares something priceless in common. No downside market risk, upside growth potential, tax-efficient wealth building over time, and the peace of mind that only life insurance can provide. This is what IUL is all about. It's not just a product, it's a philosophy, a mindset, a shield for your clients, a strategy for your business. Now here's the exciting part. At Peace of Mind, we are one of the few organizations in America that gives independent agents access to every top-tier IUL company under one roof. That means more choices, more flexibility, and more power to do what's truly best, client by client, case by case. And because of time today, we didn't even get to showcase every IUL partner we work with. But that's the beauty of joining us. There's always more to learn and more to gain. So here's your next step. If you're an agent, join us. If you're a leader, partner with us. If you want to grow, we'll grow with you. We're building something bigger than just sales. We're building a movement of professionals who want to build real freedom, real impact, and real wealth for the people we serve. This is your moment. The opportunity is real, and the time is now. So let's build the future together. We are Peace of Mind Wealth Management, and we're ready when you are.